I'm going to write you a handwritten letter. And it's going to be strongly worded. That's
strongly worded?
Yeah.
Are you going to use your thesaurus?
No, I'm just going to use some really bad words.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. No problem. I was thinking that you were going to...
It'll be a problem, Wyatt.
You were going to find synonyms for the word strong, you know?
No, that's not what that means.
Strongly worded.
Don't play stupid.
Hey, what do you call a dinosaur?
I gotta get him a thesaurus.
What do you call a dinosaur? What do you call a dinosaur that knows a lot of words?
A dinosaurus?
A thesaurus.
This is Midnight Masterminds. My name is Wyatt.
My name is Aaron.
My name is Katie May.
And my name is Tyler.
No one did a bit. All right. That's a first. Okay. Either we're going downhill or we're getting more professional. I don't know.
What's wrong with either of those things?
Both are wrong.
Well,
Bad.
the downhill is not good. Professional is nice.
If I learned anything from Uncle Drew, you don't get old because you stop playing. You get old because you stop playing.
What?
I don't think you actually watched the movie.
Did we watch the same movie?
For sure. Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
So!
What we do here is we talk about movies like Uncle Drew and like Sicario 2, Revenge of Thanos.
Yeah.
Sicario 2, Thanos goes to Mexico.
Thanos goes to Mexico. So today we're going to be reviewing those two movies, but we also do other things on the show, such as movie news, and we're doing an ongoing movie segment.
I'm assuming, speaking of, we're watching some of the greatest classics and great films over time.
Yes.
So we're rewatching these, given our different perspectives on this, since we probably haven't seen some of these movies in a while. Or some of us are seeing them for the first time, which is the main reason why we did it.
That is what
at
I'm
least
referring
one
to.
of us had not seen one of these movies. So,
Indeed.
yeah.
This week we watched Shaun of the Dead.
Yay.
Katie May had not seen it. And we watched Jaws.
Yay.
Because Katie May had not seen it. Basically,
I think you should point out that this is not a segment you devised to make Kay watch more movies, or is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
We sat down and made the list. There are movies on there that Aaron hasn't seen, that I haven't seen. It just so happens that it's heavily weighted in the Katie May direction.
Which,
Yeah.
there's nothing, that's not a massive judgment.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
She was out living her life while we were watching movies.
We were inside with no friends,
Yeah.
watching movies on our own.
Yeah, so there you go.
Because most of these movies were before we could watch them on our phones. Not that we
Exactly.
Yeah,
did that anyways, but we-
I was home when I was home last.
I thought you were about to say, when I was home last,
No.
What?
I thought you were going to tell us a story about you being homeless, which is weird. 'Cause every time I've known you, you've had a...
Yeah.
I've been homeless.
Me too!
Hey!
Oh.
Wait, you want to be homeless?
I would be included!
I just like
You
high-fiving. I
son
like
of a
high-fiving Aaron in moments of camaraderie.
I'll high-five you from my cardboard box, you son of a bitch.
Enjoy your house and your nice upbringing, asshole.
White privilege.
Yeah, white privilege.
Wyatt,
What
I
are
think
we talking
this-
about?
you might
Yeah.
We're talking about white privilege.
you might be
We're talking about
white.
Uncle Drew.
Wyatt might be whiter than me.
It's not true.
Quiet.
Aaron, what do you think?
Ooh, I don't know. I think you're probably the whitest person I've met. You're like a full mayonnaise.
It's just not even olive oil. It's just
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
it's just eggs and salt.
So, which one did you watch first, by the way? Shaun of the Dead or Jaws?
We
'Cause
watched-
I'm excited about
We
it.
watched Shaun of the
Dead.
Jaws first.
Shaun of the Jaws.
Jaws of the Dead.
Jaws of the Shaun.
You
Jaws
chain,
of the Shaun. Oh, I wish I said that.
you chain lit the movies. You watch it one after another and then
Yeah.
lost your mind. I like it.
We watched Shaun of the Dead first. So as we do these, Katie May sometimes likes to take notes.
What do you mean sometimes? I've taken notes for all of them.
All the times likes to take notes. You didn't do it during Sicario 1.
No, I didn't think it's not on the list.
It should have been.
It should have been you.
Well, it wasn't,
Well.
so...
Hey.
You told us wait to stop the list.
Oh, I have two movies.
It's on the unofficial list.
I have two movies to throw out there that should be on the list.
There's like
if they're not.
150
The list is
movies on this
closed.
list.
Now's not the time,
The list
Tyler.
is closed.
Now that I'm participating more handedly, I feel like I should input something at least.
This is your
The
last
list is
five.
closed.
You gotta just do that input.
Seven Psychopaths and In Bruges.
Oh, both good.
Okay, so I've seen In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths, and I cannot fathom why you think Seven Psychopaths belongs on this list.
You don't like Seven Psychopaths?
I like it.
A
but
whole
it-
nother conversation for another
Look,
time.
I like it. I just don't think it even holds a candle to In Bruges at all.
Alright, so Shaun of the Dead.
Tyler's so baffled. I think it's a good movie, but it's not in
Shaun
brief.
of
I
the
really
Dead.
think we should refocus back to Shaun of the Dead because I think
Oh, yeah,
I might have to agree with Tyler on this.
We're gonna have
You
a
really like
conversation.
It's like-
We'll have a conversation later. Shaun of the
It's
Dead.
not even like it's an old movie. I've saw it
Start
recently
talking.
again.
Katie May
and I
just
still
start
didn't
Oh
talking.
think
my
it was
god,
that good.
why?
I know it's not old movie. You talking about the black and white version?
Katie May, just start talking.
Remember last time when you were editing and you were like, wow, we didn't talk about any of the stuff. This is one of those times.
It is, yeah. It's just trying to defend myself.
Editing
You don't have
notes.
anything to defend. You're just wrong.
So this is Shaun of the Dead. Katie May notes what she thought in real time watching a classic movie.
That almost everyone loves.
Except me.
Dear God.
And that's how we start.
Okay, I'm just gonna start off with, I was already drinking when we started.
Did you
this
write that
movie.
in the notebook?
Yeah.
She actually wrote that down.
3 drinks in.
3 drinks in.
Oh, good. It starts with drinking. A lot of eyeliner and blue eyeshadow.
Who are you talking about, Liz?
Yeah, I guess I didn't put down names.
I don't remember Shaun having blue eyeliner.
Yeah.
Tube
know?
TV.
Was that a question?
Yeah.
No. It was, if you were wondering.
Oh, what a good one long shot. 10 out of 10. I don't know what that was, but
Well, we were watching the movie, and the wonder happened. The first wonder when he walks out of his house all the way to the corner store and back, right?
Yeah,
So
so
good.
one of the best ever.
It's a good wonder
10 out
because
of 10.
it's mirrored. But when we were watching it, she was like, "I didn't like this movie, and now I'm watching this scene, and I realize now why everyone thinks it's so great."
more tube
Period.
TVs.
It was a different time.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, doggy.
This is a loud movie. Her hair looks like Thanksgiving. More eyeshadow. Bad dum dum, go home with your mum flowers.
Who's Dum Dum?
I don't know.
What?
Bartender equals yes, honey. Get that old creepy kid look with a bowl cut.
You did look like a really overgrown child.
Mary ain't no bitch. I fell asleep, lol.
So you fell asleep after Mary in the records?
Yeah, I guess.
Wow.
That was an exhilarating
Yeah,
scene.
no,
No,
no. No, that's a classic.
Bye, Philip. See you never.
By Philip C. Never? After that really emotional death scene, you just see you never!
Oh my god.
Fuck you, Phil.
Yeah, seriously, that was like.
Super emotional.
Yeah.
Whack a zombie. Liz and her friends are dumb. Great zombie work. So real and pure. I think that's when they were faking
Pure?
to be zombies.
Oh, when they were
So she was
practicing.
sarcastic. Great zombie work.
Real pure!
Really pure. She put it in quotes.
That striped polo is the worst. 0 out of 10.
Who had to strike polo?
I think David, because I also put David as my least favorite.
David's see you
That's-
next Tuesday.
I'd say yeah. I think there's a lot of people's favorites.
Seems like an easy ending. My eyes hurt from rolling them too hard. And then my last note is meh.
So anybody who's still here,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into why.
I also had like a lot of notes, but a lot of them didn't make sense.
'Cause
So.
What's your most nonsensical note you wrote down?
Yeah.
Ginger kid, something, wearing a wig.
I don't remember that part, so...
Oh, and you will
That's
never
when she
catch
was
a bird
asleep.
like that. I don't know what that's from.
So Shaun pulls up, he's on the bus, and the bus stops, and this zombie's trying to catch a bird so he can eat it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just kind of waving his stiff arms around, trying to catch a bird to eat. So watching it again for the 8 million first time, I liked it even more.
You clicked on more details.
Yeah, every time I see it, I love it more. Sitting next to Katie May, I didn't know she was hating it. Did not know what was
Is that
going
because
through
she
her
was
brain.
sleeping and you
Yeah,
didn't?
she was asleep.
I was gonna say that might have been my first clue.
Well, no, we had to. When she fell asleep, I stopped the movie, and then we picked it up the
It was
next
also
day.
I wish you would
late.
have. You should have stopped the movie and just stared at her until she woke up.
So she's really interested because we've all talked about how brilliant of a filmmaker Edgar Wright is and how much everyone loves him, and he's the world's.
We can't say everyone, but
No,
No, everyone except Katie May, and then. We're all interested to know. We're actually on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, legit. I am interested. We all, just for the listeners at home,
We're all
we all
interested
scooted
to know
closer, and we're all giving Katie May our undivided attention.
why you don't like
right now?
I actually don't have a good reason. I just didn't
well,
like
that's
it.
not acceptable. we're not allowing it anymore. You need to describe yourself.
Yeah, this is one where we're gonna put you on the spot.
No, I was just bored.
But how in the most fast-paced in cinema history
We
can
have,
you be bored?
we have developed an entire scientific theory about the pace of the movie being the only thing that makes Katie May enjoy it. This thing blew the chart up because
I had a lab coat on the whole time.
It's the most fast-paced movie.
Edgar Wright
ever.
is famous for his quick editing.
I'm surprised
and how quickly he gets from bit to bit to bit to bit to bit.
I think
within
he
the
just
scene
is
even.
on cocaine 1,000,000% of the time.
Yeah.
And it broke the Katie May theory, and she hated it for some reason.
So that rant, the 3-person rant started with Katie May. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
And then she's like, and
Well,
then
she
Aaron
just
explodes.
No, we asked her thoughts and she's not willing to give them.
Yeah.
Just give your thoughts. Tell us why you didn't
Will you let me?
No, you
Not you. I'm bringing guns to these things.
I just wasn't interested in it. It never pulled me in. I was like, meh. Like I just didn't care what happened
Now,
or how
I
it
think-
happened.
So, could possibly the circumstances upon which you were watching the film apparently it was really late, and you were a little tipsy.
No,
Could
because
it- maybe that
usually
why?
when I'm drunk, I love
Man up,
movies.
say it with your chest.
So.
When I watched Civil War the first time, I actually really didn't like it because I went to a really late screening, and then I
Look at his face.
and I
He looks like
passed.
an emoji.
And I or was it Winter Soldier? Oh, it was Winter Soldier, not Civil War. I'm sorry.
That's
even better than Civil War.
I know. I fell asleep though, and
He
like
got
I was
worried.
super dead, and like I wasn't really paying attention. I was fading in and out, and I went and saw it again. And now Winter Soldier is probably my favorite Marvel movie. So like I'm saying, maybe if Katie May watched it again and wasn't
I
fighting
don't think
off-
that's in the cards.
No.
K-May will not watch it again.
yeah.
I'm
because,
heartbroken. I'm
Because she doesn't want
utterly
to.
heartbroken.
Yeah.
Have to.
Well, just because Katie May doesn't like it doesn't mean
No.
You don't
now,
have to like
every
it.
time I watch it, I'm gonna be like, Katie May doesn't like this.
No,
I don't like a lot of movies.
I'm gonna
yeah,
turn it
say
off.
in all seriousness,
She's
like,
a harsh
joking.
critic.
Joking.
Yeah.
It's not even about being a harsh critic. It's literally like this is what is so interesting about art, because that's what it is. It's art, and it all comes from people from different perspectives. People see things different ways.
Oh, for
they,
sure.
it is nothing that related to her. It,
Yeah,
you know,
a
it
lot of
just-
people have theories that most people relate to movies if they have a relatable character, and the only relatable characters for maybe Katie May in that movie is annoying Liz, who I don't like Liz.
Yeah.
I don't like any of those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
exactly. Yeah. So,
So if you don't like any of them and you don't relate to any of them,
but I will say this: it's frustrating
Yeah.
listening to you review movies. And I like them. But you're allowed to. I mean,
yeah, no
Well, I
one-
think that's what makes this a good show, because like you guys are two straight guys who love movies
Hold on.
Dude, I am assuming my sexual orientation.
and go into movies with that mindset.
Yeah.
Katie May is not a straight guy most of the time, and goes into movies with a different perspective. And it's an interesting point that you made. Like,
Yeah.
what was that video you sent me about The Last Jedi
Yeah.
and audience relativity
Yeah,
theory or
pretty
something
much.
like that?
Mhm.
It's like the context of the people viewing it, because they all have this-
defines what it is.
defines what it is to them, and it isn't wrong. That's what you're getting.
Not
at.
even
It's
to
like-
them defines what it is.
Yeah.
There is no one version of the story. Edgar Wright's version of the story might be totally different than we all think it is based on that.
Well, we were just talking about Split in a similar way. It's like some people could watch that and come away with it like he's like sort of an anti-hero by the end. Other people watch it and from the beginning you're like, oh, this guy's the worst guy and I hope he dies. And then you maintain that that thought process throughout the whole film.
Now, most people end up aligning with a certain type of thought.
Yeah.
But that's due to the director's vision if they tell it well.
Yeah, if it's clear, if they're clear enough in what they're trying to do, unless they're unintentionally trying to be clear. I think Edgar Wright is trying to be as clear as humanly possible. But
Well,
Katie May does not align with him.
Here's the questions that I do have, though. You said you understood, the oner that is going on there, why people like that. What about the editing and what about that kind of storytelling? Do you
Guys,
not like or?
Before she goes, I will say, because you're asking basically like an Edgar Wright question as opposed to just a film question.
Yeah.
I've shown her almost every Edgar Wright movie, and she hates all of them.
Well, I know that, but that's
Including
what
Baby Driver.
But that's what I'm asking. Like, you think that's cheesy, or do you think that like? Because I just want to know what your perspective is. You don't know. You just
I
it
just
just
don't
doesn't.
like
it just
it.
doesn't resonate.
What I'm
with you.
interested
Yeah.
in is
'Cause I think it's crazy. Like,
it's
I get
not a
excited
pace
I
thing
think it's
because his
creative,
pace
yeah.
is so fast, yet she still says she's bored. Why?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, she
that's,
doesn't know, and we don't know, and I just want to figure it out.
Seriously, because he's my favorite filmmaker on the planet. I try to emulate him all the time in all of the shit I do.
Well,
so
we got
I
a
just
copycat in the house.
want to get to the bottom of it.
Because I feel like nothing really happens.
But
just like,
there's not.
Maybe there is a limit. Maybe it can go. No, I'm serious. Maybe it can go too fast.
So that's what I was getting at. So maybe there's like a happy medium.
No, she's Goldilocks.
Seriously, it's a Goldilocks zone.
Yeah.
For Katie May pacing, if it goes too fast, she doesn't have enough time to build a relationship with any of the characters.
Yeah.
If it takes too long, she gets tired of seeing their stupid faces.
There is a Goldilocks zone.
So there's a Goldilocks zone that's probably around what, like a Civil War?
We need to find a sound
No,
that is something that we hit right
If you
before
tell me-
Katie May
I'll
says.
tell you what the Goldilocks zone is. It's The Princess Bride.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that movie
That's her favorite movie.
of all time.
So filmmakers out there, if
Yeah.
you want to satisfy
But if we're
Katie
looking
May,
at Katie May and we're going to conceptualize her as the general movie-going audience.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
We're gonna-
100%.
That's why I'm saying that. Yeah.
Aaron,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
How dare you? Anyway,
No, she's an individual. She sees things a different way than
do you feel
other people
individual? Do you feel special?
I to be
Yeah,
honest,
because we call pacing Katie May pacing.
yeah.
Not regular ass.
To be honest, I mean, I feel the same way about like certain, like I'm not as engaged into. I love the Marvel movies, but I would much rather watch a Sicario or something like that.
For
than
sure.
Marvel movies, yeah. So that's why, like, I feel that, as we see, there are two that think similar.
Wyatt and I
Yeah.
developed our creative taste
I
very
Together.
together.
But yeah, seriously, same points in your
We
life.
did.
It makes
Well,
sense.
that's why we like wouldn't
We
be.
did.
That's the thing is like I know I'm gonna like a movie based on Wyatt's review of
Yeah.
it, like 95% of the time. Because since high school, we've had time to sort of develop our own tastes, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of movies that Seven Psychopaths that I really like. Wyatt's not that huge a fan of.
Look, I think I do like it. I saw it in theaters when it came out. I saw it again recently. It's a good movie. I just think that In Bruges is a way better movie.
Oh, I'll grant you that, but that's the beauty of In Bruges is that Seven Psychopaths is still so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. In Bruges is one of the more genius.
Art.
I mean, the dialogue
off track
alone.
here.
So we also watched Jaws.
We go ahead with Jaws.
I mean,
Jaws.
Somebody really liked Jaws, so we have to get to it.
I really like it.
I was gonna say you're not
I'm
the only
glad
one.
you like objectively the best blockbuster of all time. I'm glad.
But Wyatt also
Well, it's
made
the
a good
first one.
point that I also might have liked Jaws a lot more because of the studio tour. Because
Yeah.
that's my favorite
I
part
thought
of
I
the
made that
studio
point.
tour. Or maybe you made that point.
I did
Somebody
make
made
that point.
Sorry.
Point's been made.
Somebody
Yeah.
made the point.
Somebody named Katie May has a season pass to Universal Studios Hollywood and has driven through Amity Island about 100 times and has taken a boomerang
With
shark.
sounds, without sounds.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
kinds of different
when
ways.
it's broken,
Yeah.
when you just
She-
literally drive through.
And then when
She
we
has a
watch
relationship with that
Jaws,
attraction.
She's just going, oh, it's just like Universal. It's like, yeah, where they made it.
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny.
So I really liked it.
Do you have notes on that?
Edgar
Yeah.
Wright.
Wait.
Edgar Wright. You need to get a ride at Universal,
Yeah.
man.
If he did, I bet you. She'd be like, you know what? I watched it again.
And now I love all of Edgar Wright's movies,
It's
man.
pretty good.
But hold on.
I got to drink at Duff before I went on the Edgar Wright Baby Driver car
How
ride.
awesome would it be if they just gave you like a baseball bat and you could just like hit zombies?
They gave you,
Well, I was
a
thinking
bat.
like you do a stunt driving thing for Baby Driver.
I want to go on the Edgar Wright experience, and
Yeah.
you go through his movies chronologically, including
That would be
Scott
cool.
Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh,
That would be crazy.
that'd be so much
You need a whole theme park just for that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
God,
Jaws.
Edgar Wright land. Let's talk about Jaws.
Developmental youth belongs to Edgar Wright.
It's okay. So, I want to hear Katie May's notes on Jaws. That's what That's what I came here for.
Retro Universal logo.
Tight.
What a groovy beach party.
It's groovy.
Which makes sense that she would use that word for the time period.
Yeah, that's why I
Likes it.
used it. Casually playing with a lobster. Did anybody notice that in the beginning? This person's just playing with a lobster.
Oh, people do that all the time.
It's
don't-
weird.
You don't
I'm
play with
currently
lobsters?
playing with a lobster.
Well, I grew up going to beaches all the time, and it's one of the
Playing with
things.
I grew up living on beaches.
Not lobsters themselves, but you ever hear of
Your dad just tossing Here you
No.
go. There's one for you, Tyler.
You let me tell the story because yes, that's exactly what happened.
Here's
Did you
a
also
lobster.
get melted butter?
Horseshoe crabs, they would take them, and you see how far you could chuck them out.
Oh
of the
my
bin.
God, you
god.
savage.
Not me. I didn't like it.
Oh, don't lie.
I did.
You threw.
No, they scared the shit out of me. I didn't like to touch them. I wouldn't go in the water because the horseshoe crabs
What's
terrified me.
Tell me you threw one.
I tried.
Oh!
I touched its tail.
You threw it!
I touched its tail and then like was totally skeeved out. I was a bit of a puss when it came to animals in the water.
You about to say what? Question mark?
Wait.
That was a softball.
Yeah, you knew that was going to happen. Next, Katie May, no, please.
Next Katie May note, please. Okay. Totally DTF.
Too good.
Totally DTF. Yeah, those two teen knitters in the front were down to F.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Okay. The mom looks dead. I don't know what that.
She might be.
I like that house. It's cute. Those crabs got there quick.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have unprotected sex.
I think she was talking about the dead body.
Right.
I think he thought they were still talking about the teens.
Right.
We paused it, and her finger looks so fake. It's so funny to me. A lot of white buildings and fences in this town.
That's racist.
Not really.
Not really. Mayor wearing the snazziest suit, of course.
Yes.
It's an anchor suit. I really like the chief of police. Mayor has a big nose. Why does it matter that his fingers are getting pruny? Which then I had to look up, and people thought that when your fingers were pruny, you soaked up too much water and you needed to get out. And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, this kid gets out of the water and goes up to his mom, and his mom's like, "Hey, you need to get out of the water. Your fingers are really pruny." And we were both like, "Why is that important?"
Because
It's not.
Because they soaked up too much water, so
Yeah.
get out.
Your fingers getting pruny is your body's reaction to being in the water for a long time, and it's trying to give you grip.
no,
It's trying to make you more aquatic.
I understand that, but I felt like that was always like a thing. Like if your fingers were pruny, my parents were always like, "You need to get out of the water."
Well, nowadays they know that that's not an issue.
So the scientists
It's not,
That's
yeah,
also
have-
the kid who dies.
debunked it.
That was hilarious, by the way, the way he died.
Mm.
Just got eaten, it was great.
Good
Okay.
times.
Objectively, not actually a funny scene, but I think it's funny.
Oh, I even put pruny kid gone.
Pruny kid down.
No more prunes.
Look at those sideburns, honey. Mayor wearing a mustard gold suit.
Yum.
So, like in Seven with the ties, I was
She
all
started
about
paying
the
attention
suits.
to the wardrobes, yeah.
Catch that shark with a roast. Smart. Harbor master is the boss. Mayor wearing a striped suit.
The harbor master. I remember when she wrote that note down. It's this like Santa Claus looking man just walks out. He's like a shot, and it's not really important. Like he just walks out of the harbor master's office while other people are approaching the dock. And he just walks out, and immediately, as soon as he opened the door, he's just smiling. It was so like comic. Like, he just walked out, and just walked away. It's like, what the hell was that? It was really distracting. It was funny though.
I'm on camera.
It's like I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
That kid is cute. I thought a kid was cute.
You
so.
thought a kid was cute.
Yeah. I live for drunk Chief Brody. Yes, Queen.
Oh, Lord.
I've been watching a lot of Queer Eye recently, Mayor back to anchor suit. Mayor's a fucking dick and a dum dum.
Typical mayors.
Yeah, all mayors are dumb.
Then he's back to
I meant the
straight
dick
suit.
portion of it. Not
Brody's wife is a hottie.
Ew.
Hey.
Hey.
A lot of sexual tension in this movie.
Yeah. Seriously.
Mayor of Shark City. Just two kids in a boat on sand. Quint got them baby blue eyes. Loved it. My main man Brody made it. Heck yeah.
Brody?
Smile, you son of a bang.
Also, I just want to say that was the first movie that I actually screamed at when we were watching it.
Really?
Yes.
No, really. We were watching it, and the very first shark attack came in. She goes, ah! And she squirmed in the bed, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Oh, that's not your first
Refresh
time
my
seeing
memory, which one's the first one? Is it the one where he's chumming the water? Or the very first one?
We're talking about
Like the
chumming the water is like.
No, that not.
Well,
it
I
wasn't
mean,
a
the-
shark attack.
What are you talking about?
It was when the head came out from
Yeah.
under the boat.
That's more like what I meant.
That's
Was it the first time you see the shark? Or...
It was when the head boat when they were going under to look for the shark and they're drunk.
Yeah.
And I went,
Objectively, watching it again, still pretty scary
Yeah.
for a really old movie.
Yeah.
Well, and it's crazy because obviously if you go on these tours, which we do suggest to go on those tours, they talk about how difficult the production was for this movie to still stand up with time passing this much,
Yeah.
but also everything that went into it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, seriously, it really watching it because I hadn't seen it since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Seeing it again, I'm like One, I appreciate, obviously talented, even at a really young age, Steven Spielberg is.
Yeah.
Super talented. All the actors here were bringing it. And Richard Dreyfuss,
Man, so good.
Why does he not do more shit? Because he's really, really good in this movie.
I think he has cancer or something like that.
Well, stop having cancer, you fucking...
man.
Oh, all right, Wyatt.
What's just if he could stop doing that, then he'd be more movies. And then sorry, they didn't land for Tyler.
Nope, did not land for Tyler.
And but really, I hear a lot of people these days talking about how Jaws is really good because back in the day that stuff was scary. I'm like, that shit's scary right now.
It's still scary. Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
Well, those movies always. I can't speak for the world, but the movies where it's like a bad that realistically could exist in the world. You know what I mean? Like
that's terrifying.
Well,
man.
Jason doesn't really scare me now because he's like a magical evil. Freddy doesn't freak me out, but like Mike Myers freaks me out.
Because that shit.
Like that's just a dude with a knife.
Yeah.
I mean, at least at the beginning, it was just a crazy dude.
I was gonna say, have you not seen any other ones after Halloween one? Because
I don't.
He straight up is
He's supernatural.
a zombie.
I think that's the reason why I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I saw that way too young. But that movie to me was like, holy crap! Like,
and then the whole like based on true events. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
but
What happened to you and to you?
But it is. Yeah.
I already had no plans to go to Texas.
I was just
now
gonna
I'm
say,
not even going to trust people I meet from Texas.
Yep. That and then you don't
That's
drive
Texas.
through West Virginia because the hills have eyes and stuff. So.
I haven't seen any of these movies.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's not
I think they're on our list, actually.
I know Texas Chainsaw
Oh,
Massacre.
no.
I think you're the only one who heard it.
I think so.
What happened?
There you go.
He said, "I don't want to even meet anyone from
Yeah, it is on
Texas,"
here.
and I was like, "That's Texas."
Oh, wow.
That's good.
They're playing Jaws at that movie theater.
Tomorrow.
No, it's not tomorrow's the 3rd.
It said tomorrow online. They're also doing it tomorrow. I checked.
Well, we should go see
Anyway,
it.
who
Because
wants
that'd
to
be
go
fun
see Jaws?
to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, in an actual movie theater.
That'd be kind of cool.
We went to because we had to see Sicario last night. We had no choice, and the theater near here wasn't playing it till like 10.
Should we all dress like we're actually going to go see it on the night it premiered?
Let's do it.
No.
Oh
Like in that
yeah.
time
Who are we,
period?
Garrett?
No, I'm talking about like in that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so is she.
But I know what you're saying. I like it.
Because Garrett made it, that movie.
We're gonna talk a little bit about Sicario 1, and I did rewatch it.
AKA the good one. What?
Whoa.
I watched it for the
Spoilers.
first
I want to know what Katie Mae's hot take on Sicario 1
I
is.
feel like you set her up to fail all the time.
Not to fail. She basically the basis of this podcast now is we see good movies and love them, and Katie Mae doesn't. And we yell. How dare you have opinions?
So America, the podcast.
Yeah.
time.
I'm going to hold a pillow over my face later.
No, I liked it.
Oh, you did?
I was really confused
I was-
for most of it, and I was like, wait.
Hang on, pause.
I felt bamboozled when she
Katie
said
Mae,
she liked it.
Katie Mae pacing no longer exists. It is just not a
The
thing.
theory might have been debunked.
The theory has been debunked. Katie
But-
Mae likes some movies she likes and doesn't like
Hold
other
on,
movies.
think about-
and that's just the way it's always going to be.
Think about, though, the way they built tension.
Actually, you know what? To be fair, not a lot happened, but you
Stuff
were always like
moving.
invested because of what
Well, yeah, no,
might
I mean,
happen.
but that's we gotta have there's a line in the sand between not a lot happening, meaning not a lot of action happening.
That's what I
But a
get,
lot of
yeah.
storytelling. was
Yeah, for
happening.
sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Emily
Because the whole
Blunt,
time in
we
Sicario
don't
1,
deserve her. We really don't.
the whole time in Sicario 1, you're wondering what is actually going on.
Yeah.
So, as a viewer, you're looking at all the details trying to figure out what is actually happening. And then when you find out, you're thinking,
Kept your
okay,
interest, yeah.
yeah. Once you find out and they succeed, you're like, well, now what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sicario gets to do what he was brought on to
Which,
do. So,
if we're gonna get into Sicario 2,
We're
was
not
a
right now.
main problem I think I had. And then you put it into words just then.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
So I think that may not actually debunk Katie Mae pacing, because it is a pretty, I wouldn't call it brisk, but it trucks along. It doesn't waste any time.
Yeah.
There's no fat in that movie.
No.
True.
There's nothing you could cut out and it would be the same movie.
Nope.
True.
I don't like fatty movies.
Get that chub out of here.
Stop body shaming movies, Katie Mae.
If your movie could do the truffle shuffle,
She hates
not-
the Goonies, Brolin.
What's wrong with Goonies, huh?
she hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
I just watched the Goonies the other day.
Excellent movie.
Anyways, get into what
In
you
the year of the
thought about
Brolin.
I don't think it holds up.
It's called The Summer
Do you say you
of
don't think it
Josh.
holds up?
I was watching the
Don't
news.
start that right now.
I was watching the news and they were like, and we're in the summer of Josh. And I was like, I like that. I'm going to take that.
It is, though.
Yeah,
I know.
it is.
I love it, though.
He has 3 movies, all raking in boatloads of cash right now as we speak.
2 movies raking in a shit ton of cash, and 1 doing about
2
as
raking
well
in all
as-
the cash.
and 1
He got
raking
paid.
in about as much as it might have been expected to make.
Yeah.
I would say, but he was raking in cash no matter what happened with that.
And I will say, like, regardless of how this movie itself is taken, I don't think anybody on the planet can say it was his character's fault.
Oh, no.
No, he
By
did. His
far my favorite part.
I was
of the
going to say
movie.
he might be my favorite part of the movie. It was
Yeah.
Benicio
By
del Toro
far.
until the last 20 minutes of Sicario.
It was Benicio del Toro until we focused on him. I think that. Well, I think there's nothing against
We're
him.
doing the first Sicario. What are you doing right now?
I'm off track. About to make a point. About to make a point
You
about
can
the
make the
first
point
one.
then.
About the
We
first
also
one?
live in
You
a...
You yelled before I
You
yelled.
have to
Yeah,
keep
we're fine.
yelling.
Don't shush me. That's like
You're
throwing.
in our house. This is the Masterminds house.
It's like throwing something at your little brother's head, and then yelling at him when he throws something back.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah,
So fair enough. All right, but like Sicario 1 works so well because you knew exactly what you needed to know to keep you invested, and you didn't know exactly what you didn't need to know to keep you in the same boat as Emily Blunt. And I think once it all got revealed, it got super scary because you didn't want to know or experience any of it. And
I feel like that's just a really confusing way of saying we followed Emily Blunt's character's point of view.
sure.
There we go.
And she's not in the need to know as much as Brolin and
Correct.
Well,
and
purposefully.
Del Toro, and that's the whole point of the movie.
When you find out she's basically just an accessory at this point,
Yep.
then you go,
They don't know that we know that they know.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
I like it.
That's funny.
I feel like an
Body,
outsider
body.
on this show.
Keep the motor running. Well,
Keep it running.
keep it running.
Anyways,
So, let's talk a little bit about Sicario 1.
yes.
I liked it. I was super confused, and I kept asking a lot of questions.
I had to pause it twice.
Yeah.
To catch up.
And then halfway through, we went and got McDonald's. So then when we came back, I was even more into it.
She refueled.
Yeah.
Which I want to say, I was annoyed when that happened. Because on the way home, I said, "Are you hungry?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Where do you want me to stop?" And she said, "I don't want fast food." I said, "Well, what do you want then? You're giving me no options." And she said, "Forget it. Let's just go home." I said, "Okay. Don't tell me you're going to be hungry in like an hour because I gave you the opportunity." And halfway through the movie, she stops.
Hold on.
No. Halfway through the movie, she stops and she goes, "Can we just go back to the house?" I was like, I'm going to kill myself.
You said the words, "Don't tell me," in an hour, and then you folded like a punk bitch.
I did.
I like it.
Well, I had 2 choices.
To fold like a punk bitch?
To
or-
fold and not be bothered all night, or to...
Wait, hold on. Oh, that's a
Wait.
bullshit.
No,
No,
not
you could have,
fold.
after she would have got her food, after the movie was over, you would not have been bothered. She would have been fine.
Not get her food, and the whole night just hear this as we're watching the movie.
My tummy.
Someone spit took all over your computer.
So anyway, that's my hot take.
Sweet.
Sicario 1 is one of my favorite thrillers.
Anyway,
If we're going for hot takes,
so
that's my hot take.
Sicario 1 and 2 is the same writer.
Taylor Sheridan, yep. Great.
Yep, Taylor Sheridan. And the absence of Denny in part 2 is definitely felt, because in part 1 is just expertly directed. Every scene is like,
Oh, yeah.
oh.
Yeah, it's crafted.
And then when you get to part 2, you're like, I miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go make Blade Runner and go be amazing when do
I
bigger
still haven't
things.
seen that, dude.
2049?
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, all of my friends were like, "You want to go see it?" And I was like, "I can't this
Oh,
weekend."
God.
And then they went, and then I didn't.
I have it on 4K and an OLED. Come over.
I would
So you
love
know
to.
what?
experience.
Another
I would love
question
to.
about
Seriously.
the,
I would love to.
I have another question about the Katie May pacing theory.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So Denny's pacing in Sicario, she liked it.
Yeah.
2049 did not like that.
Yeah, completely understandable, though.
Yes.
2049 is much longer. Well, not much longer. It is longer. It is, although it is Denny's film, it's still inspired by the original Blade Runner. And that movie is not her.
No.
Not even. So
That movie isn't.
I
most
didn't
people's
expect-
cup
yeah,
of
I
tea.
didn't
That movie
expect
is
that.
hard. I'm not going to sit here and say. I think it's a
No,
phenomenal
it
movie.
is-
It's hard to swallow.
movie. It is a movie buff's film. Like you have to
Absolutely.
love
Yeah.
cinema to really like appreciate that movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I don't mean that like you don't love cinema. I mean like you have to be like
I
somebody who
hate
wants
it.
You have to.
people
you have
who
to,
like, are motivated to like make movies.
Yeah, you have to like
Yeah,
the front
yeah,
of the
yeah.
curtain and behind the curtain as well
exactly.
to get Blade Runner.
Exactly.
There's nothing
Well,
wrong.
not even to get it, just to like enjoy it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't call it an enjoyable movie.
No.
You're not sitting there going like, "I'm having fun."
You're like, wow, this is really well done.
Yeah.
With like a grimace on your face,
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
This is well made and well acted.
Well, because I mean, if you think about it, they're still talking about it today, like debating.
Sure.
We just did.
Yeah.
Which one is the legit canon cut? I don't remember.
Oh.
The extended cut.
Yeah.
Or like the
Because
director's
there are
cut.
five,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, there are 5 different cuts.
Yeah, there's like extended cut, director's cut,
Theatrical release.
theatrical release. There are
Extended theatrical. and
yeah,
then
there
extended
are 5
director's.
like versions of it.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyway,
But, yeah.
so before we talk about Sicario 2,
Mhm.
before we talk about Uncle Drew, we're going to take a little sidebar. We're going to talk about some movie news.
Heyo.
Jim Carrey is going to play Eggman in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie in 2019.
Wonderful.
So tell us more about that, Tyler.
I don't really have anything else to say besides I'm disappointed in you, Jim.
Hey!
I watched your
Ooh.
documentary about how playing Andy Kaufman messed you up, but then like you wanted to take a more artistic route lately and you were done with Hollywood, but you know what? I guess we all got to take a paycheck sometimes.
Yeah, but he has the Showtime series.
Yeah, he's got the Showtime
You know
series.
what?
I
That's
feel
fair.
like he's trying to
I
come
retract all I
Good.
retract all previous statements.
We want to give you the opportunity to retract that.
Jim Carrey will play Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog live action movie. Oh, I didn't realize it was live action when I found that
back. I
headline.
was going to say, interesting that it's live action.
Live action makes it better because he's going to be in a goofy prosthetic.
Are we going to get some, what is it, Who Framed Roger Rabbit business?
I hope they go that route.
Do you not like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I do. I just feel like Sonic the Hedgehog is not as rich of a...
Oh no!
I just love what
I
Who
hope
Framed
no
Roger
one.
Rabbit
I
did for
hope
me.
that's what
Yeah.
they do, but I hope no one draws the comparison because Sonic and Sonic's fandom don't deserve that.
It's... Ugh.
That's funny.
Sorry.
I love that Jim Carrey's coming back. I'm interested as to why he picked this movie.
Yeah, I mean maybe he wanted to. I don't know, like, cause he's always been a.
He usually picks pretty good projects.
Yeah, he's like
even if
even-
halfway
he
through
was-
making the movie, he decides that he doesn't.
Oh,
Kick-Ass 2.
And it was after the movie, and then when all those people got like 7 different shootings happened.
Like right when the movie came out. So he does Kick-Ass 2, and right when that movie comes out, all these school shootings start happening. That's right when Sandy Hook happened. He immediately starts talking about we should, not put violence in movies, and I can't believe that was in that movie.
It was
blah,
more.
blah, blah.
It was more in the man's defense. It was more like, look, I know there's a place for it in movies. I just don't feel personally like I can promote something this violent right now.
No, he talked about. I read interviews and watched interviews where he totally just said, I disown this movie. I don't want to be associated with it. Like, get me away from it.
Well, I retract more statements.
Not because he thought it was a bad movie, but because of the violence angle and how it's made and filmed like a movie that could take place in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Marvel where they kind of try and make it seem like that, but also you're definitely watching like a comic book
You're in a
movie.
different universe.
Exactly. And Kick-Ass is not trying to. Kick-Ass tries to make you feel like you're here. So that's why he was walking away from it. And then after Kick-Ass 2, he didn't do anything for a really long time. Even Kick-Ass 2, like, leading up to that, he hadn't done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, after all that, I'm wondering, why is this your way back in?
Well, he was always kind of like, his comedies are always like, they're more adult, but at the same time, like Bruce Almighty is a movie that is great to watch with a bunch, if you're 20-something with all your 20-something friends, but it's also good to watch for like, it's like a decent family comedy where
It's
you
a
just
family comedy.
where you just need to cover someone's ears. You know what I mean?
No,
Like he always there's always an adult twang to like family comedies with him. So like he never shied away from doing something.
Yeah,
that
he
would
likes
be more for
he
kids.
likes like a meaningful like theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Well,
like
the reason I said, so let me add a little more to it. The reason I say that is because he talked about for a long time how he's done with Hollywood and he hates it and it's so fake, and maybe if he's going to do anything, it's going to be more things that are true to the heart and these kind of things. And I feel like signing up to play,
Robotnik.
in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is kind of just saying all that stuff I said, forget it.
Never-
Yeah,
Never mind.
And that makes sense too. Like we have every right to make that assumption too, but we don't know what's going on behind.
No, I don't know.
So, yeah,
I'm
who
a
knows?
huge Jim Carrey fan.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I love him. I'll see him in anything. I don't care.
That man's about on par with Edgar Wright for creative influence in my life.
I'll watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie just because he is in it. He can do whatever he wants, and I'll be okay with it. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
I'm not.
exactly,
I'm not
yeah.
following the narrative here.
I think that man's brain is a bag of cats. I think.
What's that? What did Katie May say?
Katie May's like, would you be mad if I said I didn't like him? I was like, no, Katie hates him, so I understand.
No, Katie May very much dislikes Jim Carrey.
Well, a lot of people dislike Jim
Well, yeah,
Carrey.
he's
My
not
mom
a-
hates him too. Like
I think everyone's mom hates Jim Carrey because he's the reason I would run into walls as a kid. So
I mean, I didn't do that, but
Oh, so that's what happened.
yeah, that's why I have dents in
all
my
right, we're
head.
gonna shift gears. Let's talk about Morbius. Tell us about Morbius, Tyler.
Jared Leto's gonna ruin another classic comic book character.
He
He got cast to play Morbius
in
a
his
Morbius-
own movie.
In a Morbius the Living Vampire movie. In case you're wondering, Morbius is a Spider-Man villain, sometimes anti-hero, he's just Dracula.
So this movie is going to be
More or less.
Yeah, this movie is going to be akin to the Venom movie coming out with Tom Hardy.
Yep,
it's
they're
going to
built- yeah.
exist in the same universe, and they're just going to give him his own movie.
They're building in like a Sony shared universe.
Sony shared Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
I still don't understand this.
It is.
Well, yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
They can still use Spider-Man. They can bring Andrew Garfield back for all they fucking want.
Which-
all Marvel's doing right now is they're borrowing him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they can put Spider-Man in, but it would just be stupid to do that.
Well, because they would get crushed.
So what
Yeah,
I think
I mean-
I'm about to get super comic book nerdy for a minute. Can you tolerate that for a little bit?
Oh god. Hold on.
So what I think would be the smartest way to build this Sony movie universe, and I'm using the Morbius news as a jumping off point, so I don't just rant about how horrible I think Jared Leto is going to do.
Whoa, hold on. Before you jump into that rant, can you tell us why you hate Jared
Because
Leto?
he ruined the Joker.
Hold on, before you get into that, Jared Leto is like the Yankees. Either you hate him or you love him.
Sure, I'll grant that.
Continue.
I think he's a little much.
Do you want me to rant for the next half hour about all the reasons I don't like Jared Leto as the Joker?
No.
We're gonna give you 1 minute on Jared Leto and 1 minute on the Sony shared universe. I do want to only say though, I heard in Blade Runner because on every set that he's on, he goes full method and does really weird stuff, right?
That's
Just
a
to get
lot-
staying
That's
character,
a lot
right?
of why I.
Well, yeah,
dislike
but
him, yeah.
he's playing a blind person in Blade Runner 2049.
Yep.
And I loved hearing all these stories about how he would have people help him around on set, and how he would like actually wear like blind, like it was either lenses or glasses so that he was actually
both.
blind. And I'm
He just
thinking,
wore lenses.
Yeah,
Not
contact
like-
contact
Oh,
lenses.
contact
Yeah, yeah.
lenses. Okay.
yeah. So I'm thinking,
I was just thinking like he just popped them out.
so
Duct taped him to his face.
So Daniel Day-Lewis said that he only does method the way that he does because he needs to, because otherwise he just can't act.
Yeah.
He even says, if you don't need to do this, really don't do it, because
Yeah,
it's
it's-
really hard on your life.
And it's asinine to do to other people. Like,
Yeah, so imagine this whole film crew that has to like stop what they're doing so they don't run over Jared Leto in his contact lenses.
so that is why. That is like 80% of why.
Yeah.
Because all evidence leads to the assumption that he was given a shit ton of creative control over where he took the Joker. Because they wanted.
Joker?
Shut up.
Droker. The
They
Joker.
wanted another Heath Ledger, so they let him take like a lot of creative control over
But
how
that's
he
not the
developed
Heath
it.
Ledger's version of the Joker.
You're absolutely right, and he tried to make it his own.
Yeah,
and
but-
I respect at least that. But the Joker in the 75 years of his life has never been a sexual predator. He's never been.
It's just a new take.
It's
But
no.
you just don't like the take. Don't be mad at Jared Leto because
But
he tried to do something.
You do
different.
know
No,
that,
no,
You do know
because
that they
he-
cut a lot of his stuff.
Absolutely, and it's like, but even still though, like, all right, I'll grant that.
You just don't like Jared Leto.
Maybe I watched the extended cut. That's not even that. I liked him in Dallas Buyers Club. I liked him in Fight Club. I liked him in oh god, what's that other
Requiem.
one? The Lord of War, the Nick
Requiem
Cage,
for a
the
Cream?
Nick Cage movie where he plays.
I love that movie.
Yeah, like
You
he's
love Requiem for a Cream?
Jared Leto.
The laptop version.
So his method bullshit works in movies that are a little artsier. But poor Margot Robbie had to open packages from Jared Leto that had used condoms in them, and you know what I mean? Like, get off your fucking high horse Reference the 75 plus years of history and build a character from that. You're not going to do a better job creating a character in 3 months of preparation than comic book artists and writers have been doing for 75 years to build one of the most...
Heath Ledger did.
Heath Ledger did by referencing history and the history of the character.
Heath Ledger locked himself up in an apartment for more than 3 months and led to a serious depression, which he already struggled with.
Well,
so.
yeah, absolutely. And I nothing but respect for that take because he honored...
And your minute's up!
He honored the character.
Your minute's up!
He honored the character.
I see what you're saying. I understand.
And conveyed it in a way that was new and unique and fit exactly and perfectly into the world that was created for him with the Nolan movies.
Some could argue that Jared Leto did the same thing.
Nope.
You wouldn't argue, but some could argue.
I just...
I'm not... Look, I don't like Suicide Squad, and I don't particularly care for
is-
his version of the Joker. I didn't hate it. I just don't care for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
He's just too gropey. Oh, and I never got to talk about the Sony stuff. Oh, well. Basically, I think they should make the Sony universe the ultimate Spider-Man universe and let Marvel have all the amazing Spider-Man stories. Done. Move on.
Cool. That won't happen. But
It looks like it might, but moving on.
I just hope that if they do bring in Spider-Man, that they don't try and confuse us and bring in Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Because I read some of that they can do that. They can take Tom Holland and they can have him do it in their movie, not associated with Marvel. Just say this is also Spider-Man.
Reason I say that Ultimates, because there's never been a better time in the history of live-action Spider-Man to bring in Miles Morales as the live-action.
Well, they already
Spider-Man.
have a Miles Morales movie coming out.
An animated one.
Yeah.
And I bet you that's to see. All right, people interested?
I just hope.
How much do people care about Miles Morales? And then when that movie does amazing, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, we'll bring in Miles."
Yeah. So what I think they're gonna do is what I hope they do. Before we move on to the next thing, look at what they're doing at DC. They're not an example of quality or anything, but they have 2 Supermans right now. They have the one that's on TV, and then they have the one that's in the actual movie universe.
Mm-hmm.
You can just do that with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Let Marvel Universe have their Tom Holland version of Spider-Man. Just have your own. I'm not saying bring in the Andrew Garfield one. Just get another Spider-Man.
And he should be handedly different. That's why I say either go the Miles route or do like an aged, I've been Spider-Man for a long time Spider-Man.
Sure, that can work too.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Either
Tobey
do that.
Maguire available?
Maybe, honestly. He made a great Spider-Man if Spider-Man was already like 10 years on being Spider-Man, not a 17-year-old as a 31-year-old man. And I know Andrew Garfield was older when he got to play Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire was, but the fact of the matter remains they didn't look it. But anyway.
Spider-Man.
So briefly, just so everyone knows, they started shooting It 2.
Delicious.
Good
So
stuff.
that's cool. Anyway, moving on.
I'm excited.
Does anyone want to talk about that? No?
No.
No, I'm excited.
Cool.
All the casting announcements that have been made are great.
All-star cast. Very
Yeah,
exciting.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Cool.
I think it could be better than the first.
Now they just released a teaser poster for Glass, also shooting right now.
James McAvoy is horrifyingly buff.
Yeah, he
pretty
got
dope.
ripped.
Like, Jesus.
Pretty yoked. Pretty yoked.
But I'm very excited for this movie. I saw Unbreakable a long time ago, and I don't remember really any of it, so I need to...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need
Definitely
to rewatch it.
rewatch that one. It's definitely a good one.
So my nephew called me the other day, and we were talking on the phone, just talking about nothing
Oh,
really.
Grant.
Yeah.
Grant, shout out. You my homie, man. I love you.
What up, Grant?
He just started watching The Inventor,
Oh,
and he loves it.
good.
Ooh.
He texted me saying, I'm really...
Humble brag.
What are you plugging your show
don't know.
now?
I'm just
Plugging
saying-
your show on a piece of content for the same channel that show exists?
No.
How dare you?
Trying to explain the nature of the phone call. He called to talk about the show, we were talking about whatever, and then he goes, hey, have you seen Unbreakable? I was like, weird segue. No, I haven't. And so we talked about
Do you like M. Night Shyamalan? Yeah.
I don't know how we got there through our conversation, but whatever. And then he said that he didn't like it. Said that it was a really bad movie. And I want to see it now to see why you like it and why he doesn't like it, and I want to know. I want to see where Katie May pin falls on it. And then obviously we know that Glass is a mixture of the Unbreakable universe and Split.
Well, it's the same universe.
It's
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
universe, yeah.
exactly.
So taking those
Yep.
movies together.
Yep.
So I think that's really interesting. I haven't seen anything like that happen.
And I don't think they told anybody.
No, they didn't. No
Yeah,
one knew.
okay.
And
Yeah.
like, I would love to talk to him about this. Because, like, it's a great way to reinvent yourself. You know what I mean? Like, because he had been making nothing but shit for a long time. A lot of people weren't necessarily blown away by Split, but at the same time...
some people hated it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was a good way to, like, return to form for him and, like, make something that was creepy but grounded and, like, definitely him. And the twist was a twist that, like, it enables him... to stay relevant in a time that is all about sequels and superheroes. I think it was a fucking brilliant move when Split came out to do this, and I'm very excited because I love my superheroes, and something I love almost as much as my superheroes are superheroes that don't belong to Marvel and DC.
Yes, it's nice to be able to see
for
outside of the...
For sure.
Yep, for sure.
Next in the news, this is relevant news because it's about the two movies that we are reviewing today. Sicario 2 is just barely beating Uncle Drew when in the box office, which I'm not going to say it has anything to do with the movie's quality. Some may say that.
I think it's more the marketing campaign.
It could be the marketing campaign. It could just be that Uncle Drew is surprisingly hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And Sicario, surprisingly or otherwise,
Yes.
kind of a pile of butt.
Whoa.
Kind of.
I have really mixed feelings about Sicario 2, so
Yeah.
let's jump in. And by the way, the margin I'm talking about is like only $1 million.
Yeah. Also, look at the cast of Uncle Drew, too. Like,
Literally all stars are in that cast.
Literally.
Yeah.
that is
Literally.
a literal all-star cast.
Yeah, literal.
God damn it. Oh, man.
Did I know what I was doing?
Yes,
No.
you did. Yes, you
Was I glad I did?
Did I? I thought you were setting me up. But anyways,
For a layup?
yeah.
Oh!
Hey,
And instead of layup, I decided to dunk it
AK
home.
May, what'd you think of Sicario?
I want to hear your hot take on Sicario 2.
That would be hilarious.
It was amazing. It was okay in the beginning. Like, it was interesting.
I agree.
And then, when we left, I was like, what? We watched that.
Right?
There was no point to this movie.
The last time I was that put off by the way a movie ended was when I watched The Florida Project. I was...
Whoa.
Oh, no.
I was at an A+ on The Florida Project until...
You're one,
Are you
wrong from never coming back.
I
for
love
me,
The
for
Florida
me.
Project. Aaron?
Aaron has
What
this...
did you like about the ending?
It was full.
Yes, that's the point!
No!
Welcome to fucking A24, my friend.
Poorly made is what I mean.
No!
No!
A24 made that movie. You talk shit about A24.
I'm not.
That's the Aaron.
That's
The
Aaron.
tension at the door. I had snot bubbles bursting out of my face when I was watching that. And then literally everything, all of that went away like that when they started running away. I was like, what's that? What? No. And then it ended and I was like, all right,
Oh, wait,
well,
hold
I
on.
hated that.
What do you mean?
It was just so out of place, Aaron.
What do you mean it was out of place?
They built that whole movie to be like, this is how...
But what do you think happened after?
Sure, but they still like... It just was so... Oh, no. It should have ended with just the police pulling up and that's it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I still think it didn't go from like an A+ to like a C. It went from an A+. Hang on! Went from an A+ to like an A... Like a solid flat A.
Okay, cool. So,
Sicario went from like a B to like a C.
not directed by Denis. It was directed by Stefano Sollima.
Yes.
Salami?
No.
Yes. I'm Stefano Salami. Anyway.
Stefano is an Italian director who really has not been handed a project.
Yes. So I looked at his IMDb and
Yeah.
all just Italian films. Nothing I've seen or heard of.
Not just Italian films, not trying to be rude or anything, but he has underperformed with the films that he has been given. So it's kind of interesting that they chose him for this.
He's somebody's brother.
Well, he might have been cheap too.
Oh, he's definitely cheap.
Oh, wow, them words.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the plot a little
I
bit.
mean, with
Let's
the checkbook.
I'd rather not, to be honest with you.
Well, no. We're gonna do a review. Let's do an honest
Yeah,
review.
yeah.
So we have the director, we have the writer. Benicio del Toro's in it. Josh Brolin. The girl who's playing a character named Isabel is played by Isabel or Isabella Moner. And Jeffrey Donovan's in it. Just want to bring that up because I love him. Just want to talk about him and his awesome mustache. So what's the plot? What's in the plot?
So after a horrible terrorist attack happens, the U.S. government is all like, "Yo, they smuggled terrorists in. To Josh Brolin. you're now clear to wage a complete and utter war on the Mexican
To
cartels.
start a war.
To start a war.
between the cartels, because
So,
it's easier to pick them off when they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
Which
Not
is
us.
essentially similar to what the first one was about.
Yeah.
The first one was they were supposed to start sort of a war.
Yeah, it was basically do
Yeah.
the first movie
Yeah.
again, but do it again.
Better.
Do it harder, yeah.
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 And that's part of what I was getting at earlier, is that the first one works because you see only as much as you need to be invested, but the second one, you see everything.
So after we find out what his mission is, him and the Sicario, Benicio del Toro, come back together. Tyler's with a roll in his eyes. Come back together because he's going to set you loose. So the plan is to abduct the daughter of this cartel lord, or
Well, murder someone on the other cartel, and then
I'm
abduct.
talking about the plot of the movie. Like the movie
meat
is
and
essentially
potatoes.
about the meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Is they're going to kidnap this girl to make it look like the other cartel did it, so that it might ensue like some conflict, or
Yeah.
might incite some conflict. And the girl is sort of catching on to it, but regardless, a lot of messiness happens, and the Mexican police seem to have, or the cartel has seemed to have infiltrated the Mexican police and is trying to stop them from getting away with the girl because they know that they have her.
They're trying to stop them from completing such a task.
Yeah, the Mexican police try to stop them from completing the task, and Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro eventually get separated. And the reason that I, hate this movie, well, not hate this movie, the reason that I am so torn on this movie is they had such a good setup at that point, because this is the point where it's just Benicio del Toro. The American government has been, and now they have to kill him because all their funding and everything is stopped. He has in his possession the daughter of one of the cartel lords. So Mexico's not safe, America's not safe, and he's alone.
Mm-hmm.
What an awesome setup for a movie.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to reveal what happens at the end of the movie,
But it let you down.
Yes.
but what a wasted setup. Holy shit.
Yep. The things that I didn't like were how it was trying so hard early on to show the elements of even cinematography and the score through the whole thing. We're trying to be so much like the first movie.
It just felt
And
a lot of,
yeah.
like a lot of...
Hey, you remember how great the first one was?
Yeah.
Yeah, this director's not as talented as him, so we're
Yeah.
going to do our
Yeah.
best. But,
Yeah, and Johan Johannesson has passed away, unfortunately, so they didn't have
Who's the
the ability.
composer of the first
yeah,
movie.
and he is or was masterful. Everything he's done, he's been a part of this kind of crew the whole time. But yeah, so for these elements to be kind of like teased at, and that kind of just it distracted me from the movie. To be honest, there were some original parts. There was some stuff that I was invested in. I enjoyed it.
I'll never
and then
say that I
yeah.
was bored.
nope.
Yeah.
I was
in it.
engaged
I
the whole
just-
time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And as the movie was ending, I was starting to get the notion that it was ending, and I thought, if this ends here,
I'm going to be
it
miserable.
would be because I was so interested in, and towards the end of the movie, going into the climax, very engaged into the plot, because they had all these plot threads that were untied, and I'm just thinking like, I'm so interested to see how these all come together and how it all ties together,
But it
and
seems
how
they're
it all gets
interested
resolved.
in making another movie instead.
Yeah.
of-
And
Yeah,
then it
so
just kinda
instead
goes,
of resolving those, they go,
Yeah, exactly.
can't wait to show you how these get resolved in Sicario 3. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens now.
Yeah, I want to see Sicario 3.
Yeah.
I want you to make me beg you for Sicario 3.
Yeah.
Not, hey, here's going to be a Sicario
So
3.
I think this
don't
was a
want to see it.
really talented group of people working on this movie that had to answer to a director who was kind of in over his head. Because the cinematography was really good.
Oh, for sure.
The acting
Yeah,
was
it was-
really good. The story was pretty solid.
Until the end. Without spoiling too much, I just think that as a writer, to write yourself into a corner where you're in a bus in Mexico trying to hop the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're on this bus with a bunch of cartel members pointing guns at your head. You don't have a weapon. You have this girl that you have to transport safely. You're doing it for moral reasons. This character has learned and grown through the course of the movie. The only character in the movie to do so, where he's now decided, I'm going to do this
One of
because
two.
I'm going to do this
Yeah.
because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm being paid.
Yep.
And to be on that bus and just give up was so disappointing.
Yep.
To build up like maybe 4 hours worth of content, Sicario 1 including the plot up to the point in Sicario 2, trying to make him out to be the supreme badass.
Yeah.
And then just
Then
not
he just
do
gets,
anything. But
he
then
gets
not do
punked
anything.
the first time he's presented with any kind of animosity or pushback by cartel members. He gets punked completely. Sorry, spoiler alert. It's just frustrating.
Here, I'll put it to you this way. Like, here's my opinion on it. I don't disagree. I actually 100% agree with it. I just think
I'm glad we're on the
that
same
the
page.
scenario that he set up was like logically it wouldn't make any sense for the character to even attempt something because it was not going to happen.
No, yeah.
But why set that up? Why
Exactly.
do that way?
You're
Yeah,
right. So why give me the expectation?
Yeah.
You're making me think that Taken is about to happen.
Yeah.
That he's going to Liam Neeson his way out of a bus.
Yeah.
And then when you don't do that, I go, well, you felt like I was misled a little bit.
Yeah.
Not necessarily misled, but if you don't want your audience to expect that, don't put yourself in a situation where
we should expect
we are
that.
going to expect it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Because he's you're right, he's built up as this almost force of nature through the first movie and
Every
a
time
half.
you see him, you just hear...
And then he blows away like just people in droves, right? And then, this is a situation
Just
where
like
he can really shine.
he's kinda
he got way punked.
Yeah, he's kind of almost
Got
made
him.
out to be a John Wick type character where he's kind of just Headshot McGee.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm stealing that from Rudy Fornoff.
Headshot.
I love you,
Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I hate John Wick because he's just Headshot McGee. And I just laughed. I was like, what do you mean? So I call him that because there's no conflict with him.
Uh-huh.
He's going to always win.
Yep.
He's always going to get a headshot.
Yeah.
So when you watch Sicario, what's interesting is the story. You just know that if anyone's in a room with Benicio del Toro, they're going to get just destroyed.
Yeah.
And I love,
And then in this in the end, like the last 20 of this movie, they dispel that, or the last 20 minutes of this movie, they dispel that myth completely.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
totally.
he's just a
cool.
normal.
And
He's just a normal dude. He's just a dad.
Yeah, it's just he only has the superpower of whenever he looks at you, you just hear, and it scares you.
But that's the thing though is like it does irritate that stuff like didn't do much for me. What really completely lost me and really pissed me off actually was what we're not going to talk about the very last part of the movie.
Oh, the
Very-
last
that
scene.
that just
I
it completely
left
ruined
the movie so quick.
Yeah,
I
the only thing
I was so mad.
because we don't want to spoil it because we think you should go see it so you can have your own opinions about it. What I will say is that in a world where people are desperately not wanting to set up more franchises, I mean, audience every time a movie franchise or a movie does this deliberately, every time a movie deliberately tries to set up a franchise and you can smell it, the audience just eats it alive. Every time you try and set up a movie and it feels like that's what you're trying to do, like in The Mummy, for example, the whole world is against you.
Yep.
We all know that. Why do you do it still?
Yeah.
Because in this movie, at the end of Sicario, they really forcibly try to make you feel like there's going to be
The
this...
game is on.
Yeah.
To quote the Mr. Sunday. And
Yeah, so why... So if you know that we're going to hate it, don't do it.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it. We'll be
so
interested if you don't do it or if you do it. Just don't do it.
And then to backtrack too, because we'll talk about Brolin's character. Actually, I'm starting to think about it. There's a lot of character arcs.
Yeah.
For not just Benicio's character, Alejandro.
I just think he had the most.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he had the most. But Brolin turns too. He goes from company man, I'll do what I got to do. This is my job.
Yeah.
To like Alejandro's my friend, man.
For sure.
Because in the first Sicario, both of them, but definitely, like I could still see Alejandro because of what he recognized in Emily Blunt's character.
Right.
He recognized his daughter in her. So you could see him. He had a soft spot for her. So
For
if
sure.
anybody was able to be manipulated, it actually probably would have been the most dangerous guy in the room.
For sure.
In the first movie, but it still wasn't going to happen because what he had lost, he didn't care anymore. Like he was here for a reason. Now Brolin, he almost is like the root of all evil, but he's a likable character, that's what's so like masterful about the writing and fascinating about it. But in here, like, and it's not, I didn't dislike this. I actually like this. He acknowledges the fact that like I don't want to give up on him because of how close he's gotten to Benicio's character, Alejandro.
And then also the girl.
Yeah.
He's like, we got to get her across.
Yeah, exactly. But he only cares about the girl because of Alejandro.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
But he also acknowledges of why Alejandro is such a force of nature, or set up to be such a force of nature, is because he
It's
lost
like,
his,
if I don't do this, this is a line from the movie.
Yeah.
She said, I'll get another team to go and take care of him, aka take care of him.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I should do it because if I don't, he's going to kill you.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that sends a shiver down your spine.
Yeah.
And then the last 20 minutes of the movie happens, and you're like, why was I even scared of that guy?
Yeah. Also, minor grievance. They said we're 10 minutes away, and then it becomes dawn.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Like it's pitch. It goes from pitch black to like 10 in the morning in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't you know about science, dum-dum?
Right, sorry, my mistake.
Movies know more about science than you do, dum-dum.
Yeah, I concur.
I want to get shot in the mouth.
Oh,
Why isn't he missing teeth? Anyway, let's move on. Katie May, hot take?
On what?
Sicario 2. Even over there listening?
Yeah. I already gave my hot
She did.
take.
That was the...
Hot takes on what we're saying.
Anything...
I got nothing. I agree.
Okay, cool. So let's
She
talk.
concurs.
Let's talk a little bit about a movie that is only $1 million behind Sicario 2. Uncle Drew.
Haven't seen it.
Katie
I
May.
loved Uncle Drew. I was so surprised by that movie.
I will say that when we were prepping this week's episode, we all kind of discussed what should we watch this week, and the only movie coming out is Sicario 2, and we were all really excited for Sicario 2 because Sicario 1's so good. And then we thought, what else is coming out? Uncle Drew. We don't want to see it. Everybody was like, do you want to see it?
I wanted to see it just because I absolutely loved the actual basketball players that were in.
For sure,
Yeah.
and that's an appealing aspect to go to a
Yeah.
movie like this. It just didn't look funny at all. I feel like whoever cut this trailer, shame on you for making this look like a bad movie, because it's not. It's really not a bad movie.
It's so good.
It's really funny.
Yeah. And I'm genuinely impressed with the athletes that are actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Like-
put some heart into these
Like,
characters.
really the only athlete in this movie that ever had any experience with movies
Shaq.
is Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyrie Irving, he done commercials as
Oh,
his character.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
the whole, reason for it. But yeah, it was.
And I just want to
absolutely
say that whenever Shaq has the ball and he just palms it,
Yeah.
it's so intimidating. And he has the ball, and if he just, there's a couple scenes where he palms it and then he just throws it with one wrist. It's like when he throws it, it looks like it's weightless.
Yeah.
And it's also like, you could throw a basketball pretty hard and it looks like you're throwing it pretty hard. But he throws it, it goes 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it doesn't even look like he tried. And he does it with one hand.
That's what you get for being 7'2".
It's so terrifying.
Yeah.
And to make him a karate master in the movie is so funny.
A karate man.
Yeah. He's a karate man.
See, I remember. See, it's funny you said that about the trailer. Like, I think it was when. Yeah, it was last week when I went to see Jurassic World. I saw the trailer for Uncle Drew.
Yeah.
Which is a weird movie to play that trailer in front of, but
Yeah.
I digress. But I was like, that looks actually really funny. I wish they do that with hockey players. But
So
I'm glad it was good. I really am.
so-
I'm glad it was good.
Yeah, so Uncle Drew is directed by Charles Stone III, known for Drumline and Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
Hey-o.
And it's written by a man named Jay Longino. Not important. So,
Oh, man.
Ouch.
I didn't see him in anything important, so probably not important. So, in this movie is Kyrie Irving, Lil Ray Howry.
Yes.
He's the star. He is also known as the TS motherfucking A guy from Get Out. Shaq, Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, and Lisa Leslie. Am I missing anybody?
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
Oh, and the one and only
Oh, yeah.
JB Smoove.
Well, and
JB Smoove.
and
Did you say Nick Kroll?
Nick Kroll.
no, we have Nick Kroll and his girlfriend.
Right.
Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish.
I want to talk more about JB Smoove.
Can we talk more about Nick Kroll?
Well, we're going to.
Mike Epps, too, I
We're
forgot.
going to. Mike Epps, yeah. But JB Smoove,
Yeah.
I loved him being in the movie
He was hilarious.
because he was in the old man prosthetic as well. And I'm thinking, why is he an old man prosthetic? There's no need for it. And then they do this bit where he puts in an old videotape of him having a sex tape with his wife.
Yeah.
And because he was in the old man prosthetic, it was like a 70s porno tape.
Yeah.
So it's clear that they did it just so that they can do a bit where he was younger and made this old porno tape. And that was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so
Yep,
funny.
it was so
Just
funny.
let's put an afro on JB Smoove and do a porn tape. It was funny.
It was good.
But so let's talk about the plot. What's in the plot?
So, a street ball tournament, famous street ball tournament.
Famous.
It's always held at Rucker Park.
Rucker Park.
And if you know anything about street ball or basketball in general, this is like hallowed ground. So they are trying to win a $100,000 tournament, and there's an enemy that he has, aka Nick Kroll.
Played by Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
Played masterfully by
Yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Kroll. The favorite part about his character is he beats his name is Dax. He beats Dax every year, and he has it tattooed on starting at his chest every
Yeah.
year that he wins, all the way down right to where his pubes should start. And he goes, "I got more room down there, man. If I keep beating you." And I was like, "That's funny because it's gonna go onto his dick soon."
Yeah.
He is the best douchebag in the world.
Oh man.
Yes.
But
he is.
Yeah, because he's the douche.
yeah. He literally is called the douche in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But
And in Sausage Party,
Yeah,
he plays a literal dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
I forgot about that movie.
It was hilarious.
I mean, that's pretty much it. You have this mythical character called Uncle Drew,
Yeah.
who they do a whole opening bit about how he's the best to ever live, pretty much,
Yeah.
and he just he's embarrassed about his past failings, not necessarily on the court, but in his personal life with Shaq's character.
Yeah.
And Dax had certain circumstances make it so Dax doesn't put a brand new team together to go against Nick Kroll, who basically stole his team and his girlfriend and his shirts and is just living his life, which is really funny. And Dax has to go and put together this new team with the help of Uncle Drew. He puts together his old team, like his old team from the 70s. And it's like this geriatric team of basketball players surprisingly doing super well in this tournament.
Yeah.
And it is...
Like they're like one's in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
one's blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's good. It's also good too because if you don't know anything about basketball
Yeah.
or follow basketball, like it's perfectly fine for
Oh,
you.
Well,
really?
as
that's
well.
why I was interested to see what you guys thought of it because like I absolutely love all these like
Yeah.
I adore everybody that's in here. I
Yeah.
follow their careers and I like know everything about them, and like to see you guys enjoy it the same
I
way.
was wondering
Yeah.
if the one thing that I was hesitant about seeing it was like, do I have to be a fan of basketball to enjoy this
There
movie?
is one joke. There's only one joke in the movie that if you were a fan, if you're not a fan of basketball, that you won't get.
What was that?
But it was whenever they called the last time finished the last time out. He went up to who Chris Webber's character is. They call him Rev or Preacher. Preacher. That's who it was.
I think I know what you're about to say.
And he goes,
We only get one more time out?
"Yeah,
Or that's
we only have one more timeout. That's it." And that references back to the Fab Five Michigan team, where Chris Webber is infamous for calling a timeout when they didn't have any timeouts, and that led to a technical foul, and they lost the game in the tournament for that.
Oh, God.
And it is one of the biggest fails in NCAA history. Like it goes downhill from after that because then a month or so after that, then they start questioning Chris Webber for receiving like shoes and funds, pretty much getting paid while he was in college, and then like severed his ties with Michigan, like did not like ever talk with Michigan. So it ended up being like a really bad, set of circumstances. But it's like
For
so
them
funny.
to make a joke about
Yeah,
that.
for them to make a joke about it. Well, it's kind of cool too because like Chris Webber now is actually going to be. He's going to do the coin toss at Michigan's football game this year. Like this will be the first time he'll like be back on campus and stuff.
So like he kind of redeemed himself.
Yeah, so kind of like redeeming himself like with the university. So it's a kind of a cool time, to be able to see this. But it's just hilarious that they brought that up. Like, hey, just so you know, we don't have any more timeouts. And he's like, I thought we had one more. Because that's exactly what
that
it was.
made that joke hilarious in the
It was-
context of the movie, too.
Yeah, it's like years of set.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that held me back from seeing it.
Yeah.
On top of literally not having time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You don't have time? Just go to the store.
Oh, for God's sake.
To the Spice section.
To the time store.
I'm gonna kill him.
You know,
one day.
Spice section.
But no, like I was worried
Nice
that
little
I would
rosemary.
go and I would want to
Like-
watch and I'd want to enjoy it, but I would just kind of be lost because I didn't
Nope.
really know any of the
Yeah.
basketball players
You
that
can
were
enjoy
in
it,
it.
yeah. Because they
It's-
create their own universe.
For sure.
They
Good.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. They do.
Cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
I loved
Cool.
it.
I'll add it to the list. I'll try to go see it.
Well, really, if you have
And-
Movie Pass, it's a
Yeah.
perfect movie to go see.
Now I want to just buy all the Nike pants.
Yeah. Yeah, the sweat.
This is very much is a product placement movie because there's all kinds of people arguing over buying
Pepsi,
shoes and stuff.
Nike,
It's
yeah.
literally
Yeah,
produced by
Believe.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
So
The
But-
Abominous Rex brought to you by Pepsi.
it was pretty much but
It was good. It was.
didn't distract. It wasn't distracting.
No, it
So
was.
good.
They,
Yeah,
they
played
actually
it
found a way
into
to
it.
weave it into the
Yeah,
plot,
yeah.
which is smart. As opposed to my favorite one that wasn't really weaved into the plot, but I'm going to give it to Nick Kroll for making it hilarious, is he was doing shout-outs to all of his friends in this interview he was doing.
Uh-huh.
You know how when you go to the gas station now, there's like gas station TV? So like they're getting all of their team together and they're going back to New York to compete in the tournament. And Dax is filling up the gas tank. And he sees an interview, and basically Nick Kroll is like just talking about how he's going to mop the floor with them. And how funny would it be is if you lost your team, you lost your girlfriend to this guy, he's literally wearing your shirts.
Yeah.
And you're filling up your van with gas full of really old men who are for sure going to lose this tournament.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the gas station pump, and it's the man on the TV.
And it's not even in the same state, I don't think.
Yeah, and he's doing an interview, and he basically just says, "I'm just going to shout out directly to Dax," and starts talking to you through the gas station pump.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be so deflating as a character. in that moment, he's like, shout out to so and so, shout out to so and so, and he's like, shout out to Ali for being the best pain reliever in the game, and just keeps going on with the interview. And I was like, wait, what? I'm gonna hand it to him because that was hilarious. Because it seems like something his character would do.
Exactly.
So that's why it was so funny.
It was so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would see it again.
Mm-hmm. Definitely worth it.
It's smarter than it looks, and it's funnier than it looks. Go see it.
Yeah.
Great
I
Katie
will.
May pacing.
You sold me.
Great Kitty
You sold me.
Come back next week when we review Ant-Man and the Wasp and The First Purge. We're also going to probably catch up on all the Purge movies because I haven't seen any of them, and I don't know if anyone else has. Also, comment if you have something we should add to a list. Tyler cannot add to the list. I'd like to have Tyler be the only person to comment on the video. Go, I want to add him instead of Psychopath.
We treat him like Matt Damon, Jimmy Kimmel.
It's like, get out of here, go
Sorry, we
away.
didn't have time for you, Tyler.
I'm actually gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But the Midnight Masterminds are available on YouTube. We're also available on Spreaker. On social medias, you can find us on Facebook. There's a Midnight Masterminds Facebook page, but we're also linked with Screenplay, where you can find all kinds of other content like The Inventor and Visual Cooking and another podcast that most of us are on, Stories from Storage. If you love the Masterminds and Screenplay and everything that we do, you can go to Patreon and help support us so we can continue making it, delivering it directly to you, hot, fresh, and baked, and ready to listen and watch. Have a good day.